Inclusive education is not just a methodology, it is a philosophy, a human right, and a transformative approach to ensuring every individual, regardless of ability, background, or socioeconomic status, is provided equitable access to quality education. In the 21st century, the global paradigm of education has shifted from exclusion and segregation to inclusion, equity, and universal participation. This module offers a comprehensive and interdisciplinary examination of inclusive education principles, special education frameworks, legislative foundations, differentiated instructional practices, classroom accommodations, and the intersectionality of disability with socio-cultural dimensions. It emphasizes that diversity is not a barrier, but a strength, and that inclusive schools benefit all you. 7.1 Concept and Philosophy of Inclusive Education. Inclusive education refers to the educational approach that ensures all children, regardless of physical, intellectual, social, emotional, linguistic, or other conditions, are accommodated in mainstream schools and classrooms with necessary support. This includes children with disabilities, marginalized ethnic or linguistic groups, economically disadvantaged youth, children in conflict zones or displaced situations. Key philosophy: every child matters and every child can learn. Inclusive education does not promote sameness, but equitable access and tailored support that respects your diversity. It is anchored in human rights principles, UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, social justice, equity and access, participation, and outcomes. 7.2 Legislative and Policy Frameworks. Inclusive education is underpinned by national and international instruments. Some of the key policies and declarations include Global Instruments, UNESCO Salamanca Statement, 1994. Advocated education for all in inclusive settings, United Nations CRPD, 2006. Emphasizes the right to inclusive education, Article 24. Education for All, EFA, and SDG 4. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning for all. National frameworks. Countries have their own inclusion policies. IEP, Individualized Education Plan. Mandates. Inclusive Education Acts. Disability Acts, e.g. Nigeria's Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Act, 2018. 7.3 Understanding Special Educational Needs, SEN. Special educational needs, SEN, are conditions that make learning more challenging for a student than for their peers. Common categories of SEN: learning disabilities, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, intellectual disabilities, Down syndrome, developmental delays, sensory impairments, hearing, visual impairments, emotional and behavioral disorders, ADHD, autism spectrum disorders, physical disabilities, cerebral palsy, mobility impairments, gifted and talented, require enrichment and acceleration. 7.4 Teaching strategies in inclusive classrooms. Teachers must adopt adaptive and flexible pedagogies to address a range of learner needs. Key approaches: differentiated instruction, adjusting content, process, product, and learning environment. Universal design for learning, UDL. Curriculum design that caters to all learners from the start. Scaffolding, providing support structures to help you achieve independence. Peer tutoring, structured student-to-student academic support, assistive technology, devices or software that enhance learning, e.g. screen readers, FM systems, multisensory instruction, use of visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and tactile elements, positive behavioral interventions and supports, PBIS, promote constructive behavior and reduce disruptions. 7.6 Collaboration and multidisciplinary support. Inclusive education thrives on teamwork and synergy among various stakeholders. Teachers, general and special educators working together, parents, vital partners in advocacy and IEP development counselors, address social-emotional needs, speech and language therapists, address communication difficulties, occupational therapists, assist with motor and functional skills, paraprofessionals, classroom assistants, support daily activities. 7.7 Individualized Education Program, IEP. An IEP is a formal plan developed for students with special needs. It outlines the child's current level of functioning, sets short and long-term goals, specifies services and accommodations, includes assessment methods and regular review mechanisms. 7.8 Barriers to Inclusive Education. Despite the best intentions, inclusive education faces challenges, including systemic barriers, lack of trained personnel, inadequate funding, rigid curricula and assessment formats, attitudinal barriers, teacher resistance or unpreparedness, peer discrimination, societal stigma, physical and technological barriers, inaccessible buildings, absence of learning aids, limited digital inclusion for you with disabilities. 7.9 Strategies for Overcoming Barriers. Pre-service and in-service teacher training on inclusive practices, community awareness and sensitization campaigns, education policy reforms, and disability-friendly budgeting, inclusive curriculum adaptation and multimodal assessment, school-wide inclusion culture building. Summary: inclusive education is the foundation of equitable learning environments, transforming schools into spaces where diversity is respected and embraced. It requires philosophical clarity, professional commitment, multi-stakeholder collaboration, and policy enforcement. Addressing special educational needs is not charity. It is a mandate of justice and human dignity. Inclusive education empowers societies to thrive through the full participation of all individuals.